Welcome to the podcast from HeadHunters Northwest. HeadHunters Northwest, specialized recruiting, specialized approach, where we take you behind the scenes into our customers' businesses. For over 20 years, HeadHunters Northwest has served the global defense, small arms, and shooting sectors worldwide. Listen in as we discuss the inner workings of our USA and international customers. HeadHunters Northwest, finding you the best heads for business.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to HeadHunters Northwest podcast. This is such a treat. I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled to be able to share with our audience about Powder Valley Outdoor. They are an amazing organization that every consumer needs to know about. And I would say customer service is unparalleled. So I'm happy to have Bill Clinton, the CEO, and Willie Vernon, the VP of Marketing, on today for our podcast. So welcome both of you.
Hi, Shaylene. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, maybe we could just start with you and kind of give us a little history on Powder Valley, and maybe even you. You're a personable guy and amazing talent. I got the opportunity to learn about you. So don't forget to tell us about that too.
Well, you're too kind, but a little bit about me. I've just been, in the industry as a hobby, for my whole life, as long as I can remember, reloading 357 and 44 mag cartridges with my uncle when I was 9 or 10 and going out to shoot those and been hunting and fishing my whole life. So it was a dream to be able to join the industry, I guess 15 or 16 or 17 years ago. And I've worked in a lot of facets of the industry, from the quality side to warehouse management and logistics to merchandising. And then just a real blessing to come to join the Powder Valley team in 2022. So that's
what a blessing.
Journey. Yeah.
Your background is so ideal to help this organization. It really is special. So tell us a little bit about Powder Valley. So if people don't know about Powder Valley, tell us where they can find the website and what you all do there.
So powdervalley.com, obviously, we're an internet retailer. Business was started in 91 in a gentleman's automotive shop. And he was an IMR distributor selling powder on the side, and grew that business until 99 when Brian and Noel Richardson bought it and moved it to its current location and have been growing the business. Really, really specifically focused on powder, primers, and ammunition components, and with not a lot of effort to really broaden the product offering outside that. The good thing they did is, they really are one of the number one retailers of canister powder in the industry and have built up a really loyal customer base. My charge has been to broaden that outreach and that category offering to really try to serve those customers with everything else that they need. We're all customers. I'm a reloader. I'm a shooter. You guys are in the industry, and if you're reloading, you also need rifles, you need magazines, you need scopes, you need reloading equipment. And so it seems to make sense to broaden the categories that way. So that's what we're trying to do.
Wow, that's a big undertaking. And with taking this on, I know you've been fortunate to have really great talent that was already there when you came. And I remember us talking about how great customer service is and how important it is to you. And I forget what the saying is, but it was really important to Willie when I told her about it. What was that saying about customer service?
Basically, we just want to delight our customers.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. You can satisfy customers, and that's great, but we want them to just walk away with a really good feeling and want them to come back and do business with us again. And, we have problems from time to time, but when we have those problems, we want to own up to them and correct them and let the customer know that they can trust us and that we're going to do the best that we can do for them every single time.
Well, there's a human on the other side of that order, putting that order together.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, that was so important to me during my interview process is, being a marketer, you want to be with a company that's really going to stand behind its products and its service. And Bill just kept saying, delight the customer. And I was like, I can get behind this. And what's been really cool is now being inside Powder Valley is seeing that really in action too. Because a lot of brands can pay that lip service, but Powder Valley's seriously dedicated to its customers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really evident. And it comes from the top. That's the direction, and that permeated the organization. So, Willie, I didn't tell you this before we got on camera here, but I actually looked in my database to see how long I've known of you. And and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I actually am so into this now, I don't even know if we've even ever met in person. I know I've tried and missed you at a trade show.
I met you at a trade show years ago. We have had in person. It was a while ago.
Okay, well, 2014, 2015. So it would be tough to say, I think, with anyone on this call that I am not tenacious.
You guys said you're a force to be reckoned with. That's how I describe you. Yeah.
There's a fine line between that and stalker. So I try to not cross over that line, but I only say that to the listeners because sometimes it really does take that long to find the right position at the right time for someone who's really talented. And it hasn't been that I have never wanted to keep in touch or want to work with you. But when you're doing executive recruiting, it can be really frustrating for people like yourself, that I meet. And I'm like, oh, I really want to work with this person. There's a great, but you got to have the right thing at the right time, and I feel very blessed and very honored that you trusted me all those years and would take my phone calls. So thank you.
Well, Shaylene, I mean, you played the long game on this one, and you've always been one of my favorite people around the industry, and you're just so much fun, but you're just tenacious is definitely the word. And you did play the long game, and we stayed in touch through really the whole thing. I don't think we were ever totally out of touch, and you just...
It's creepy. I do.
Long you met Bill, and you're like, oh my God, Bill and Willie need to meet. This is the fit.
Poor Bill too. I mean, that was not just marching orders.
No, but that's part of the value that a great recruiter provides is, you come and you say, hey, here's what I'm looking for. And if you can be a little bit flexible and keep the strategy in mind, not just, some hard-coded set of rules, then you can say, maybe what's the value proposition if we expand a little bit? And, I was looking for initially somebody that was maybe a little bit less capable or less experienced than Willie is. But when you presented her as a candidate, I'm like, hey, here's some possibilities here of, somebody that can really be a confidant and can help me, not only execute the strategy, but help develop strategy and implement some of those changes that we need to make. It's hard to grow a company. Powder Valley is a great company, great culture, but it's very, very small company with minimal infrastructure. And it's really, really difficult to take that, grassroots mentality and move it into, the big world of business kind of approach. And so having someone like Willie on board, it was definitely the right move.
Yeah, it was a very special match. I feel very fortunate, but I do think that is the hard part too. And, you've hired way more people than I have, Bill, but it is hard. It's that talent match that really makes it work because you really have to work in sync. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about this. I did not intend to go down this wave.
We can keep talking about Shaylene. That's
not the fun of this. Let's go over this. Let's talk about some of the things that you guys are doing to grow your product offerings, and maybe let's talk about some of the things that you have planned for growth and change. And I don't know which one of you want to answer that. I'll leave that up to the two of you.
Oh boy, I'll take a stab at the bigger picture, and then I'll kind of turn it over to Willie because she's got the details and really the master plan on the marketing and customer outreach side.
Yeah.
So, from my perspective, kind of what I mentioned before was taking us from a grassroots organization. We're doing a lot of work on the back end that customers never really see, on the website in terms of building infrastructure, improving our ERP system and our product information management system, because we want to provide the very best product information that we can, help customers make a great product selection. They can't be happy with it if they don't buy the right thing, or if they're confused about, what the features and benefits are. So customers don't really see that manifest right away. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to implement that, even down to the picking and stocking and packing processes that just get the order out faster. And so we've been doing a lot of work on that, and we're taking a next step over the next couple of weeks in our warehouse to improve our logistics. And there's probably 3 pages of strategic items in the back end infrastructure that we're just knocking out bit by bit by bit. On the front side, what customers do see and have seen is the expansion into new categories that are ancillary to our core. So, like I said before, if you've got powder, you're probably reloading it. If you're reloading 4895 or 7828, you're probably shooting a larger caliber. You need a scope to go with that. You need a vault. You need a gun case. You need targets. All those things that we had not been providing in the past. And so we've doubled our SKU offering in the past 12 months, less than 12 months, and we'll probably come close to doubling it again in 2025.
It's the place to go for anything you need. I was the one-stop shop. I mean, that is what we consumers want, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're going on the front side, and we pay attention to our customers. We listen to Facebook. We listen to the feedback we get on Google reviews. We look at searches that they do on the website that don't have any result. And in fact, we're getting ready to roll out a new brand. That's one of our number one search requests that we don't supply. And so we're trying to listen and support the customers as best we can, especially in this tough market.
Yeah.
And then, of course, where Willie comes in is, outreach to those customers and let them know we're here and who we are and what we do.
Because that, I mean, it all just goes back to what Bill said earlier, and that's delighting the customer and taking that through from, we want to delight them and having, like you said, Shaylene, a one-stop shop. We want to have everything that they need for that. But with that, I feel like Powder Valley is this gem that has managed to become this actually very strong brand with no marketing. And I don't think really an exaggeration, with no marketing. It's, our customers are so passionate about us that we've grown to this strong position because they're so loyal, because we do strive to delight them. But now, that shouldn't be a best kept secret. That should be shared with the world. And now what we're going to do is bring so many new people into this brand, not just on the reloading side, which we do want to focus on. We want to bring reloading and education around that to a younger generation that maybe is missing out on this like wonderful artisanal, just almost meditative practice that people can have. So we want to bring that to them, but we're going to introduce them to all these other products that we have as well. And something that sets us apart, Bill and I have talked about this so much, is there are other players out there who provide a lot of product breadth, but I don't think anybody can beat Powder Valley in terms of the personalized care and service that we provide. And we're going to maintain that no matter how we scale. So no matter how we get, no matter how broad that product offering becomes, you will still be able to pick up the phone and call somebody. You can talk to us. We will walk you through anything that you need. Our state is an area where you can go and feel welcomed and find education. And it's not this, there's no barrier there. It's not scary to get into learning about this stuff. We want to prioritize that care and personalization for our customers. So I'm really excited to help this become not so much a best kept secret. We want to tell a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're still a family run company. You probably heard the dog barking. Sorry about that. That's
I think that's cool.
Dogs. Yeah. So, they come in and out. So.
Well, that's because, I think that's what one of the things that I get reviews. I have people reach out to me on social media and say, hey, I love that podcast. I heard so-and-so. That's so cool. And, it really brings our industry to life. When we're all on these video calls and we're on the computer ordering our stuff, it's great for the consumer to know that we're just real people right behind this, and that is what makes this industry so special, is it's not as removed, or there's not a wall up as some of the companies tend to, I think, make you feel.
Yeah.
And also don't clock out. I mean, you can see my background and you can see Bill's background. This is one thing that we all love, and we're lucky enough to get to work in an industry that we are genuinely passionate about. So that excitement comes through in how you treat your customer as well. Because when we're shopping our site, what do we want? Like, how exciting is that? We get to think about what would we enjoy buying and using, and know that that's probably also going to resonate with our customers because we're our customers. So
Absolutely. Is that your deer from your hunt, Willie?
It is. So my background, I've been around guns for, oh my gosh, most of my life. And I joined the industry straight out of college. So I've been around the industry for a hot second now, but I was a late onset hunter, and I didn't go on my first hunt until last fall. And this is him. So we're going to grow from here, but this is him. Aspired to have a background like Bill's. But yeah, I've been around the shooting industry for a long time, and really excited to now actually be a hunter. I loved it.
It's really cool.
Thanks.
Well, and it's special because that was going on during, I think, your interview period. And so poor Bill and I, we were dragged into your experience.
In fact, and I don't know if Bill knows this, I had done my final interview, and it was that Friday. And Shaylene, you knew I was heading up for the hunt. It was the day after Thanksgiving. I was heading up for the hunt. And I was, I literally, I wish I would have had my husband take a picture. I was checking my emails in the blind to see if I had heard back from you about a decision on like everything that was going back and forth. And then you told me the next day, you're like, oh, I had already heard from Bill. I just didn't want to bug you on your hunt, but I'm blind checking that.
That's how it works. See, Bill and I were working on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. We were, weren't we?
Yeah.
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 I wrote that offer letter at the kitchen table while everybody else was putting up the dishes, I think.
Well, that's one way to get out of dishes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just goes to show, that's the thing. Like we are all just so passionate about this stuff, and we're checking for work emails from the blind. And meanwhile, I had my husband and my 7-year-old daughter in the blind with me, and she to go through the whole thing. So it really is just, we love what we do. Aren't we so lucky?
Mm-hmm.
And, this industry, what a lot of people don't realize, and even I think some of the newer owners, maybe, and some older owners don't realize or remember that, there's ups and downs in this industry, right? And Willie, you've seen that. You've been in it long enough. Talk a little bit about that, and how our companies count on our consumers and how it goes up and down.
Oh, absolutely. Man, I remember my first election cycle. Don't we all in this school? It was a waffle ride. And it's that panic grips you, and you just think it's never going to come back again. And sure enough, you wait it out and everything comes back around. But at the same time, I've also seen companies bite off big when it's in that boom, that scare buying time, and then they've paid the price later on. So something that I really like that Bill shares this mindset too, and Powder Valley shares this mindset. We're in this for the long run. We're in this for the long haul. We're not going to try to gouge our customers during times that we could. We're not going to try to, we're not going to disappear in the night when things go bad, because we've planned for that. So a company that really understands the ups and downs of this industry and kind of how to ride those out. And at the same time, you mentioned customers. Our customers are so crucial to us. And we know that they're going through difficult times right now as well. And Bill keeps that top of mind with everything that he puts together in terms of pricing, in terms of promotions. We know that it's hard for everybody. And we know that our customers lots of times rely on some of the products that we supply them with. So we want to make sure that they can still get those products even in difficult times. So it's a partnership with our customers. We're loyal to them just the same way that they're loyal to us. And for all the brands in this industry, man, just don't spend all your money when things are hot, because you're going to go back down. But guess what? When they go down, they're going to come right back. So just have a long-term view.
Having two veterans head this up, that are from the industry, that is such a valuable asset to an organization overall, because I see a lot of companies that don't hire industry veterans, and that's totally fine. We need people from outside the industry too. We need new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the pitfalls does tend to be sometimes if you have no executives on your team that are from the industry, it's one thing to tell someone about the cyclical nature of our industry, but it's another thing to live it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's worth it. I mean, I know when I'm used to it, I'm so many years, I almost am forget, to prepare because I'm just keep going, and I work on projects when I have time. It's like just like your household. Either you have the money and you don't have the time, or you have the time and you don't have the money, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I remember in 14 or 15, you had 2013 that was, just a blowout banner year that, you could sell anything you wanted to. And then in 14 or 15, you couldn't give around a 9mm away.
Yeah.
And we're kind of starting to see that now. Trump's been elected, there's no fear of control of the House and Senate. And so, and customers have been buying everything they can possibly buy through the COVID years, even though you could say 23 and 24 weren't really COVID years, there was still some scarcity in certain segments, certain powders and certain primers, and customers took advantage of that. And now you come into, I hate to say the word Trump slump, but
yeah, that's our kind of industry lingo, I think.
Yeah, it is. So I did it when I put the budget for 25 together. I went back and I looked at 2016 and 17.
Good idea.
And in 2017, the federal ammunition excise tax was 26% lower than it was in 2016. And we see a very similar thing today. And that's kind of what we heard at SHOT Show. So, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, you do what any business would do. You manage your expenses and try to buy the right amounts of inventory. And I think one of the most challenging things is the unique situation we have today with powder, which is the biggest percent of our business. And not only is the cost of powder going up, is the demand is sliding and the availability is sliding and the cost is going up. And those three things don't usually work together that way. And it creates some unique challenges.
I think the benefit that you guys have over just about anybody else that I'm aware of is a customer can look for a product or not know what they need. Their buddy has this or I get calls all the time asking me where to find a product. Like, you guys know, I have no idea, but I just call you guys, right? Because then I don't know. The people can reach you directly. They can send in a request online and someone's going to read it. It's not in the dark abyss. If they have a question about how do I find this type of product, that's going to go to a real person at Powder Valley. Whereas I think that does not happen at a lot of other companies.
Yeah. I can't say what happens at most other companies, but I know here, our customer service team, if they can't answer a question, they forward the email to me or Willie or Jacob, another of our associates, and we find the answer for them.
That's
we might not give them specific load data, but we can sure tell them where to look and give some advice.
That's great.
So,
well, that's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit as we kind of wrap up. Tell us a little bit about what customers can expect coming into 25 and 26. I mean, they're going to see some updates on the website and a lot of stuff on the back end that they're not going to see, but it's going to make it a lot better shopping experience, right?
Yep. I'm going to give most of this one to Willie because most of what customers will see, from my part, it's going to be a continued expansion into the product offering, new brands, new categories. We'll continue to try to keep our prices as low as we possibly can. And then, we're going to try to improve the website quite a bit in terms of layout and look and feel and performance too. But in terms of outreach, Willie, I'll let you take that one.
I think a couple big things for us this year will be personalization and education. And in personalization, I mean a couple different things. one of those is just personality, because one of the things that drew me to joining the Powder Valley team are the people who are here. And it's just such an incredible group of people. And that needs to shine through in more of what we're doing. We need to show who we are so that customers know we're them. We're the customers as well. So we're going to personalize ourselves, but we also want to personalize the service that we're providing through not just customer service, but on the marketing side as well. We want this to be seamless. We want this to be just the most fun experience that you can have when you're shopping with the brand. And like I said earlier, we want to demystify what can kind of be a little bit of a high barrier to entry pastime in reloading. So in addition to having a bunch of these products that people are already wanting to buy, helping them get into this fantastic pastime that is reloading. So we're going to personalize ourselves, we're going to personalize our service, and we're going to demystify and educate a lot of customers to just become a resource for them. Just customer obsessed always. That's
I
what
love that. With more women buyers and many younger buyers, our buyers are now in the 20s and 30s. This is a great sport. What a great sport to do at home and to anywhere you want to go. And this reloading and all the things that go with that, the education is so important. It's a great opportunity to do things together.
Well, and right now, I mean, you think of people who, we all hate to talk about COVID times, but you think about COVID times, and it actually did result in more people getting out there, getting outdoors and starting to hunt and becoming more aware of healthful eating and healthful living and sourcing their own meat. So through that's wonderful. But a lot of these people who came to hunting during COVID, they're now kind of wondering what's next. You're seeing a lot of people with archery. You're seeing a lot of people into things that have a little bit more time required, a little bit more artistry required. People don't just want to scroll their phones all the time. They want to start getting into things where they can be hands-on and they feel like they're getting something. It's mental exercise for them. It's detachment from electronics all the time. So I think a lot of those people who got into hunt during COVID, now, a few years later, they're starting to get curious about things like reloading. They want to find what is my next step? And we're going to be there to help them in that next step. So for anybody who became hunt curious, went out and did their first hunt, and now they're wondering what's next. What next is Powder Valley, and we're here to help them get into that next phase.
I think that's really great. Yeah. And I know that you sent me some links we're going to include on not only the YouTube page, but everywhere else that we post this.
Yes. Everybody to follow us. Shaylene, we got zucked. Our Facebook page got zucked. Everybody needs to go follow it. Silly Meta.
Is that right?
Yes.
That is right. Yep. So now we're having to rebuild our social presence. So everybody go follow.
Instagram, right? Facebook. Where else are you guys?
Yep. We're also on X as well.
I didn't know that. I will be following.
No, please do. We're going to get more active on all social channels. That's a big initiative for us this year. You're going to see just a lot more of who we are and a lot more of that educational content coming out. So start following now so you don't miss any.
Well, we will do that. And when we post this podcast, we'll tag all of those. So that way people know to go and find you. Well, I can't thank the two of you enough. I really think it was very generous of you, knowing how busy you guys are, to jump on this podcast. I just feel like it's so important people know about Powder Valley, because really is the best kept secret. And we don't want it to keep it secret.
Right.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been great fun.
Well, now repeat the website for me. It's powdervalley.com. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
On social, you're going to find us at Powder Valley Outdoors.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, both of you, for being on HeadHunters Northwest podcast. And we'll wrap this up until our next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the HeadHunters Northwest podcast. Specialized recruiting, specialized approach. You can reach out at HeadHuntersNW.com or call 605-600-1709. Join us again next week as we look behind the curtain into the global defense, small arms, and shooting sectors. HeadHunters Northwest, finding you the best heads for business.